Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I'm a voice teacher. Today I'm going to be reacting to and analyzing the wrestler Elias singing. He's got some pretty good rhythm. But, well, some parts of it are really good rhythm. I would make sure that you're rehearsing with a metronome just to get every important beat on an important beat.
I met a million people in my life. They all had something to say. But if I listened to everybody's problems, well, guess what? I'd never get through my day.
So he's mostly speak singing right now, where he isn't trying to make his vowels anything other than how he would do them in speech. He's not elongating anything. He's not making anything particularly musical or melodic at this point, but he's still being kind of expressive with it. He still has some parts where it goes a little bit higher, where it goes a little bit lower. There is still some movement through it, but I'm excited to hear him actually sing because so far his voice, it has a little bit of a gravel to it, but it sounds almost phlegmy rather than like a technique thing. His voice is actually placed pretty far forward, and just listening to his spoken voice, I feel like there's something in there.
The only words that matter in life are the ones that Elias got. See, man came up to me, said he used to play guitar back in his day. I said, sir, can you please quiet down because you're in my way.
So cool. He's using his voice in a way that works really well for this song. He's not trying to sing. He's just like speaking kind of rhythmically and kind of with different variations in pitch. But there is no melody to this song right now. At least for me, it would be really hard to kind of sing along with what he's doing. But his instrument use is still pretty healthy. It's not pushing anything. I actually would love to take him from that place and get him into a place where he's actually singing songs. Like start with this and then go into a different actual song with a melody and everything. I feel like some of the skills will transfer over pretty easily.
I'm traveling all around the world all the time, and you know, I take in every city I go to, and this one kind of sums up all of my feelings here about all the cities I visit, so pay close attention.
There's a little bit of extra tension in that sound, but I don't mind it because it gives him this interesting sound that sounds like Elias. What I like about this is that he's not trying to sound like anyone other than Elias, and he doesn't care about what he sounds like. It's very obvious to me that he's willing to make sounds and live with whatever it is and just not try to change it and just accept that, yes, what he just did is enough and that's okay. And that's something that a lot of really good singers don't get to, is the point where they can trust themselves and they're not like super in their heads about what they sound like. And I think it's because he's not singing with this, like just his root intention isn't to blow you away with his voice, it's to entertain. And because of that, he doesn't have this weird divide where he gets in his head about this. At least that's my perception of all of this, because he doesn't sound bad. He just sounds like Elias, and it's kind of a rough sound.
Pittsburgh to Philly, Chicago to LA,
Hey.
Portland, San Diego, down to Santa Fe.
He's kind of got a cool tone to his voice. I like the vibrato that he's putting in. It's a cool stylistic choice. I wish that we could find a way to get that without shaking his whole head, though.
Hartford to Albany, couldn't get much worse. Every time I come here, I feel like I've been cursed. Minneapolis, all the way to Omaha.
It was a good instinct going up to the high note. It's just that he didn't commit to it. And that's another place where doing some exercises before, some vocal exercises to just open that up and let him start trusting it before he goes to actually sing will let him commit to that a little bit more, because it just was a safe way of getting up. But the instinct was still right. It was moving in the right direction. It just didn't commit to it entirely.
I can't even describe the ignorance I saw. I'm waiting for a town. It's not such a disgrace.
And another thing, if we wanted his voice to sound more consistent all the way across, we need to center his vowels a little bit more. His vowels are kind of all over the place, where they don't have as much in common that makes everything sound like the same voice. It sounds like the same voice, but that's because he's using more of his spoken tone. I think that we could just fix a few of these little vowels and everything will just link together a little bit smoother.
But I see so many stupid people, I wanna punch them in the face. Every city I go, it all feels the same. It's got to be the people. You're the ones to blame, specifically you, pal.
And I do think that he's not pressing to get his distortion. I don't think that he's hurting himself. I just think he's got a kind of gravelly voice, but it's more from like weird stuff bouncing around in his resonator than from a really imperfect vocal fold vibration, because his chords are actually working pretty well. He's getting to the right pitches, but it's a very gravelly sound.
Detroit to Nashville, it's an American music
He's there, it just
scene.
needs to be tuned a little bit
But
more.
when I look into their eyes, it makes me want to scream. I'm waiting for
Love that
a
sound,
town.
though.
It's not such a disgrace. But I see so many stupid people, I want to punch them in the face. New York, it feels like hell.
I wonder if he's more comfortable with the high notes or this middle kind of place. It doesn't seem like he's letting things move into his chest very much. Like, na na na. I would expect a little bit more of a chesty. It just feels kind of stuck forward for me, where I like the forward sound and I need that, but I think that there's a lot of things that just like 1 or 2 lessons working on paying attention to what your body feels like when you're making sounds. I think that just a few lessons with that would give a lot more awareness of the instrument and a lot more control over the sounds that it's giving.
San Antonio as well.
Because the instincts are there.
Phoenix to Seattle, where my darkest thoughts dwell. I'm waiting for a town. It's not such a disgrace.
And he's got a few like really good skills with singing. That open ah with the distortion on it, that is such a usable sound, and it's a really good sound, and people work a lot to try to get that sound, and he's got that. So we just need to fill everything else around it so that people take him more seriously as a singer, I think. And part of it is because, you know, the first song was so much more spoken. Part of it's because he's known as a wrestler rather than just as a singer. But, you know, he could actually make a little bit more really cool music, I think.
But I see so many stupid people, I want to punch them in the face. I'm waiting for a town.
Like right there, it's fun.
fun.
He's committing
Here
to
we
some of
go.
these sounds.
But I see so many stupid people, I want to punch them in the face. One more time, I'm waiting for a town. It's not such a
Now, as he starts pressing into it a little bit more, I hear it more on the chord, where it's kind of less sustainable in the long term, but he's getting close to the end of the song. It's just little things like that where if he had continued handling the distortion in the way that he handled it for the beginning of this song, he would have no problem. But he's changing something about it, and it just sounds harsher on the chord. It just feels a little bit harder to me.
Grace, but I
And then he just avoided it.
them in the face.
That little voice crack that he had, that was just a transition issue. That was like what I was talking about. Oh, I almost got that fly. What I was talking about earlier with how he wasn't letting it move into his chest. That's kind of what I mean with it. It's getting stuck in his falsetto register rather than letting it transition back down. I think that he does have a lot of really good musical instincts, and he's a good performer, and that's a more rare thing, actually. It's a little bit more difficult to teach being comfortable in front of huge crowds and to teach the charisma. It's possible to learn still, but, you know, he has all of that. And he also does have some good musical instincts. So he just needs to fill out his musical training a little bit more. But I think that if he took it seriously and practiced a lot and was working with people who could help him get towards that, I think he could make some really interesting music. He's got good ear. He's a funny lyricist if he wrote this himself. Like, I think that there's a lot of good things. He's still raw. He's still very untrained, but I dig it. I think that it's cool and there's something there. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Go check out my website, vocalease.net, if you're interested in signing up for a lesson with me. And go leave a comment below of something that you'd like me to react to in the future or something that you learned from this. What do you think of Elias? Thank you.